welcome to another exciting and interesting and amazing time here on
My Funtime Story Club.
It's so good to see you, my lovelies. And here with me, I have some special people, and we're going to tell you a really amazing and interesting story. And they are...
Hi, my name's Jamila and I'm 9 years old.
Hello, my name is Ify and I'm 10 years old.
Hi, my name's Hadja and I'm 11 years old.
Hi, my name's Oki, I'm 9 years old.
So you guys, you heard them. Well, it's so nice to meet you. Let's wave at everybody. Say hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I'm Auntie Chits, as you know, and we're going to go into an amazing story. But before we do that, I need you to get your snacks. What else do you need to get? Some popcorn, maybe?
Soda.
Some soda, some fruits. Do you think some cake, maybe?
Yeah.
Something healthy to eat as well.
Some yogurt.
Yes, some yogurt. And go and call everybody. Who do you think they need to call?
Dad.
Dad. Call mom, dad, everybody. Auntie, grandma, auntie, baby Tom. Call everybody. And when we come back, we're going to read a really amazing story from the Bible. See you in a bit. Hey guys, it's so good to see you again. Welcome back. I hope you have all your snacks with you. Where are our snacks? You were supposed to bring our snacks. You ate all our snacks? Ify, where's the snacks? Did you eat them with Hadja? Do you know what? Next time I'm going to bring my own snacks because you guys don't like sharing. But okay, I hope you guys have your lovely snacks with you there. So we're going to read a story from the Bible, as I said. And our story today is taken from the book of Mark, chapter 10, verses 46 to 52. That's Mark chapter 10, verse 46 to 52. And it's a really interesting story in the New Testament about a blind man. Jesus healed a blind man called Bartimaeus. So we'll call the story Blind Bartimaeus. So, before we go into the story, I wonder if any of you can spell Bartimaeus.
I think
Okay,
so.
okay, let you try. Let me hear you spell Bartimaeus.
B
Uh-huh,
A
uh-huh,
R T
uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
M
mm-hmm.
A
10 seconds, 10,
U
9. He messed something up. Wrong. Okay, how'd you go?
B-A-R-T
Mm-hmm,
I-M
mm-hmm. Bartimaeus? No.
A-S-E
No, Bartimaeus.
A
No. Oh, Bartimasa. No,
I think I
no,
know.
wrong. Go, Jamila.
B-A-R-T
Mm-hmm.
I-M-A-S
I've got
Bartimaeus. No,
no,
Bartimaeus.
I've got it.
Okay, you go. If you go.
Bartimaeus.
Bartimaeus.
No, I've got it.
No, no, you
I
didn't.
do.
You already had a chance.
No,
Nah.
you.
No,
know.
no. You guys at home, are you ready to spell it with me? I know you guys have the right answer. So are we ready to go? So it's B-A-R-T-I-M-A-E-U-S.
That's what I was going
I
to
was
No.
say.
so going to say that.
Yes, of course you were. Of course you're going to say Bartimaeus as a story. Okay, so that's fine. Well done, you guys. I know you guys had a really great time spelling that word and you got it correct, right? Good. So, blind Bartimaeus. There was a man called Bartimaeus, and he was a beggar, and he lived in a road somewhere near the town of Jericho. And this town was a very big town. It was a very interesting road. So because Bartimaeus was a blind man, he couldn't really work because obviously if you're blind, what does that mean if you're blind? Can you tell me? What does it mean if someone is blind? Tell me, Hadja, what does it mean if someone's blind?
You can't see.
They can't see, exactly. So if you can't see, do you think you can do other things like drive a car maybe, or go on a scooter?
No.
Do you think you can ride a bike if you're blind?
No.
Can you write if you're blind?
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Some
Maybe.
people have super senses.
You can type.
When they smell and then they pick up a pen. And then they don't know what their handwriting looks like, but they somehow write.
Right.
And then they're just like,
Yes, Jamila. Okay, thank
Or
you.
if
Wow,
they can't,
amazing.
if they can't write properly, they might just be scribbling on paper.
They might be scribbling on paper, exactly. Do you think that someone who was blind, do you think Bartimaeus, do you think he had a job that he could work?
no.
You think so?
I
You don't
do.
think so?
I don't.
You think he could work? Okay, why? What kind of job do you think he would do if he's blind?
Actually.
You know, you could do
Bearing in mind, there was no computers back in those days. There was no Oyster cards. So what could he do?
he could do dog walking.
Where is he gonna? He could do dog walking.
Yeah, because blind people use dogs to see.
Yes, but that's because now people have trained dogs. But back then they didn't train dogs.
These
Or
sticks.
they could use a typewriter.
They didn't have any computers. They didn't have any typewriters.
Oh,
They didn't
I
have
know what they could
anything like that back then. Do you think what kind of job do you think he could do? What do you think, Jamila?
He could do like selling things.
You could sell things.
but he
Okay.
doesn't if they're giving him the right money.
Exactly. How do you know someone's giving the wrong change or the right money? Ify, what do you think?
I think he could do something like a smelling job.
A smelling job.
Yeah, where like he could tell if something is good or bad or
Okay.
how good something is. Like, say if you are a salesman and then you just go to Bartimaeus and you're just like, oh, hey, Bartimaeus, yeah.
Smell this for
Smell
me.
this for me. Tell me, is it good? Is it
Okay.
spoiled? Is it nice? Is it?
Maybe you should have given him a job. You could be, but he didn't have a job at the time, unfortunately. So blind Bartimaeus, he couldn't work because he couldn't see. And way back then in those days, they didn't have technology. They didn't have the things that a lot of blind people have, that they can use today. So Bartimaeus had to beg for everything. He didn't have anywhere to live. He didn't have his own house. He just lived on the roadside. And he had to rely on people to give him, like gifts or offering, like, just alms. If someone's begging for bread or for, they need help, he had to rely on the help of other people. So it just so happened that one day he was sitting in the road with his bowl, and his cloak. Do you think if he had a house and his own place to live and he could look at, do you think his clothes were really clean and tidy?
No.
What do you think he looked like? Tell me. You guys don't tell me. What do you think he looked like? Do you think he was clean? Do you think he was clean?
No.
Do you think he had very nice clothes and lots of money? No. Because he was a beggar, he lived outside. He had really like an old, tattered clothing. He didn't have any money. He had a small bowl where he would ask people for money and they'd give money or they'd give him food sometimes. So one day, as Bartimaeus was sitting in the road asking for alms, he suddenly heard a large group of people just, he heard footsteps and people were walking and they were walking fast and they were so excited and, they're talking in raised voices and saying, oh my gosh, he's coming. And Bartimaeus was like, what's going on? And he started to get more and more curious. So, if you heard people just rushing somewhere, do you think you'd just stay in the same place and just say, I don't mind? What do you think? What would you do, Jamila?
If it was me, I'll probably try and follow them.
Try and follow them. Okay. Ify,
At first, I'll be like,
what's going on?
okay. Then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need to go and see what's
You
going
need to go and
on.
find out what's going on. So, Haja, do you think that's what was going through Mr. Bartimaeus' mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think he was curious to find out what was going on?
Yes.
Yes.
Because of this lots and lots and
Lots.
lots of footsteps.
Lots of footsteps, lots of trampling, and people were shouting and so excited. And it just so happened that as this crowd, he found out that it was Jesus. Jesus was coming to the town of Jericho. As Jesus was leaving there with his followers and a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, Bartimaeus was the son of a man called Timaeus. He was sitting by the road. He heard that Jesus from Nazareth was walking by. Jesus of Nazareth. Do you think people in the Jericho had heard of Jesus of Nazareth? Yes? Do you think so? Is that why they were excited?
Yeah.
What do you think they had heard about Jesus? You tell me at home. What do you think? Do you think they heard about his miracles? About the things that he did? What do you think?
They might have heard that he was just going to be going through different towns, and then when he was going to go through their town.
They wanted to
really
see.
wanted to.
They really wanted to see him. So of course, Bartimaeus had obviously heard about Jesus, and at that moment he knew. He was like, he just wanted to shout because he didn't know when next Jesus would be coming through their town. So he shouted and he said, "Jesus, Son of David, please help me. Jesus, please help me." He was so eager. He wanted Jesus to hear him, and his voice got louder and louder and louder. So when you want something, what do? Do you just keep quiet? What do?
I want it.
You want it now. You want it now. Is that what you do when you want something? Do you just keep quiet?
No.
No. You had to say, you had to speak, you had to shout and to try and get Jesus' attention. And as he shouted, all these people around him, they told him, "Keep quiet. Shush. Shush." But as he continued, as the people told him to keep quiet more and more, he shouted more and more, "Son of David, please help me." We'll find out what happens when we come back from our break.
Hi, my name is Iffy, and you're watching my Funtime Story Club. Keep watching.
So, welcome back, you guys. Today we're reading, as I said before we left on our break, we're reading the story of a man called Blind Bartimaeus. So, you guys, what was Bartimaeus' father's name? What was his father's name?
Timaeus.
Timaeus, exactly. Bartimaeus' dad was called Timaeus. And where did Bartimaeus live? Where did he find Jesus? Was he in Nazareth? Was he in Galilee? Where was it? Okay, tell me.
Jericho.
Near Jericho. It was exactly. Jesus was leaving the town of Jericho. So, when he heard that Jesus was coming and was walking through, was he coming with like maybe 2 people with him, or how many people were with Jesus? Do you know? Was it a few people? Was it a lot of people?
A lot.
A lot of people. It was a very large crowd. And it was a very large crowd that was following Jesus. And that's what got Bartimaeus' attention. Now, Bartimaeus was a blind man who lived, he was a beggar, so he couldn't work. And he really, really wanted more than anything. He heard that Jesus was passing by. And as he could see and as he could sense that something was going on, he started shouting. And can you tell me, what was he shouting?
Jesus,
Son of David, help me.
Please help me. He said, "Jesus, Son of David, please help me." And the more he shouted, people kept on telling him to shh, be quiet. Do you think it was nice for them to tell him to be quiet?
No.
Why? Why, if you tell me?
Because he was already blind, and he just wanted something that he never got to have. But people, it's like they're trying to take the dream away from him.
So, Jamila, what do you think?
They shouldn't have said shush because they don't know what's been going through with him.
What's going with him? What's going on with him? Exactly. So they kept on shouting and shouting and telling him to keep quiet. Shush! Stop bothering Jesus. He doesn't want to hear from someone like you. You're just a beggar. He doesn't have time for people like you. But then Jesus stopped and he said, "Tell the man to come here." And why do you think Jesus did that? Why do you think Jesus did that? Tell me.
Because he wanted to heal him.
You think he wanted to help him? Okay. Okay.
Jesus knew that he was blind.
Jesus knew that he was blind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he felt sorry for him.
But he felt sorry for him, exactly. That's one of the reasons why Jesus says, "Stop and tell the man to come here." Because Jesus was full of empathy and compassion. Empathy is when you feel, you feel sorry for people, and you always want to help other people. That's what Jesus always wanted to do. He always wanted to help others. So as Jesus said to the man, said to the crowd, "Tell the man to come here," they suddenly stopped and they said to the blind man, "Cheer up! Get to your feet! Jesus is calling you." What do you think the man did? What do you think Bartimaeus did when he said that? Do you think he got up like, "What?" Or do you think he just, what do you think he did? Jim,
He
tell me.
ran.
You think he ran? Yes? What do you think? Okay.
That's what I was going to say.
You think he ran. Jamila?
Maybe because he was really surprised, he just got upset.
Yeah,
I think he jumped for joy.
You think he jumped for joy? Well, the Bible here tells us that as soon as the blind man, heard the crowd, he stood up quickly. He stood up, and as he stood up, he left. Do you think he had time to pick up everything? And say, oh no, he left everything. He left his bowl. He left his cloak, his dirty clothes. He just had his cloak. He just had what he had on him, and maybe he had a stick, and he quickly made his way towards Jesus. He was listening for Jesus' voice as Jesus was saying, "Come here, come here." And as he got to Jesus, Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Can you imagine? So, I want you to tell me at home, if Jesus came to you now and said, "What do you want me to do for you?" What would you tell Jesus? Tell me. Tell you what, I want you to write me a letter. Why don't you at home? You can send me a letter, send me a note, or send me an email, and tell me the address is on the bar, it will be on the screen. Tell me what you want Jesus to do for you. I'll be very, very interested to hear what you guys have to say. But I'm going to ask Iffy, what would you want Jesus to do for you? If Jesus came and said, "What do you want me to do for you?" What would you say to him?
Help every poor person in the world.
Help every poor person in the world. Okay, good. Jamila, what do you think?
Like help people that live in places that are good and that can kill them.
Okay, so places where people might get hurt,
Poverty.
or where there's where they need help, you would ask Jesus to help them.
Yeah.
That's nice, good. Haja?
To fulfill my heart's desire and to donate money to all charities.
To fulfill your. So, what is your heart's desire? What do you want?
I want to I don't want to die before I'm supposed to, and I want to be a big person in church.
You want to be a big person in church, okay?
And be like someone who's known for helping people.
No, you want to be someone who's known for helping people. Good. So you want to make sure that you live a life where you do everything that God wants you to do, okay? And you want to be, you want to be good, and that you want to work in the church and help the Church of Jesus Christ, yes. And you also want to be known for someone who does, for helping others. Good. Okay. Okay. What about you? If Jesus came to you today in your room as you're sleeping and he says, "Okay, what do you want me to do for you?" What would you say to Jesus?
I'd ask him to help me win people's souls and help people become Christians so they can go to heaven.
So they can go to heaven?
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very, very good. So Jamila said she wants Jesus to help, those who aren't able to help, those where there's danger, where there's, there's hunger. So, you could ask Jesus, if Jesus were to ask you now, you could ask him to help children who are in places where there's war, like Syria, or places like Afghanistan, or you could ask Jesus maybe to help with, places where there's diseases like Ebola. Have you heard about Ebola? Yeah, you could ask Jesus, you could do that. But you can do that now, actually. So you can pray. So when you pray, is that what you pray about? Do you pray for God to help those people or those children? So just imagine if they're children like your age, or someone that you go to school with who's living in a country where there's war. You should pray for them, right? Isn't it? What would you pray for? You pray for?
To give them better homes.
Give them better homes.
Give them food.
And to give them food. Good, for better homes, and to give them peace. Okay, so that's one thing you should always pray. Pray for peace in those nations. Even the country where you live, right here. Make sure you pray for peace in the country where you live, so you can live happy, healthy lives, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so let's go back to the story. So Jesus said to blind Bartimaeus, Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Do you think blind Bartimaeus asked for money?
No.
Do you think he asked to be the strongest man in the world?
No.
Do you think he asked for nice clothes?
No.
No?
It kind of.
Kind of. Do you think he asked Jesus to make everybody who ever was mean to him disappear?
No.
Do you think he asked for a new donkey and carriage?
No.
What about you at home? What do you think he asked for? What do you think
A new cell phone.
a cell phone, a mobile. You asked for a mobile, an iPhone, a Samsung Galaxy. You think he needed a phone? No. So blind Bartimaeus answered, "Teacher, I want to see again." And Jesus said to him, "Go, you are healed because you believed." And what do you think happened? At once, the man was able to see again. He was so happy. So if you couldn't see before, and all of a sudden you can see again, what do you think? What would you do?
I will like jump around, say thank you, Jesus.
You jump around, or would you just lie down and say, "Oh, I'm so happy"? No, you jump around. Ify, what would you do? You just got a miracle you couldn't see before. Is that what you do? Yeah. You dance. That's good. Haja, what would you do?
Have tears of joy.
You'd have tears of joy. Okay, what would you do?
Celebrate.
You celebrate. Exactly. The man was so happy. He was, imagine, he was able to see all of God's creation again. He was able to just be able to walk in the road. He could see the water, he could see the sun, he could see the trees and the birds, and he was able to see everything. He didn't do everything that he wasn't able to do before. So now that he was able to see again, do you think he was able to work again, to get a job?
Yeah.
You think he was able to do that? Do you think?
Everything.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Because you wouldn't have had the money.
No, you don't need money to get a job.
Need to have experience.
You need to have experience, but if he wanted to now be, okay, so if he before had said he could be a smeller, but now, someone who's good at smelling things, but now he could be someone who sells things maybe, right? Or he can make stuff because he can see what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
He could be a carpenter, isn't it? What else could he be?
He could be a care worker,
Yes.
or he could be a preacher.
He could be a preacher, exactly. So he could now do everything and anything that he couldn't do before. And he celebrated and he was so happy. And do you think everyone around him was happy for him?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. You should always be happy. So if someone receives a miracle or healing, celebrate with that person. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's where the story ends. Because a man, now that Jesus had healed him, at once the man was able to see again, and he followed Jesus on the road. He became a follower of Jesus Christ because that's what Jesus had done for him. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's a really great story. Oh, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. When we come back, I'm going to ask you some questions and we're going to have fun. And you guys can ask me questions too. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.
Hi, my name's Hadja and you're watching my Funtime Story Club. Keep watching. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our amazing and interesting story. The story of a blind man called
Bartimaeus.
Bartimaeus. And Bartimaeus was a son of Timaeus. Exactly. Very good. And can you tell me, I want you guys at home to tell me, where did Bartimaeus live? Did he have a big mansion in Chelsea? Or did he live in Bexley Heath? Where did he live? Tell me, Jamila. Where? Too late. Where did he live, Ify?
Jericho.
He lived near Jericho, exactly. That's exactly where he lived. And can you tell me, when Jesus was coming down the road, what did Bartimaeus say to Jesus? What words did he use? Tell me. He used specific words. I want you to tell me what he said. Jamila.
Jesus, Son of God, help me, please help me.
You said, yes, Jesus. Almost correct. Yeah. Almost. You just missed one word. Iffy?
Jesus, Son of David, help me.
Please help
Please
me.
help me.
Exactly. He said, Jesus, Son of David, please help me. And as Jesus heard him, he told the man to come to him. And he asked the man, what do you want me to do for him? And what did Bartimaeus say? I want to
see.
I want to see again. And was he healed? Did he receive his sight?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's good. And you know, the Bible says that Jesus said that the man received his sight, he was healed. Why do you think he was healed? Why was he healed? There was something that Jesus said. You at home, you can tell me too. Why was Bartimaeus healed? Jesus said something very, very interesting. Okay, you tell me.
If you believe, you receive your sight.
Yes, he said, well, not if you believed. But Jesus said, go. What is it?
Because you believe.
Because you believed, you are healed. And the man received his sight. And he celebrated. Yay! He was so happy. And that's where our story ended. But if you have any questions, you guys have any questions for me? Yes, Haja.
I'd like, a question for Iffy.
For Iffy, okay.
What's your obsession with smell?
Why do you like smelling so much?
Well,
Well.
imagine it like this.
Mm-hmm.
You're on a deserted island and there's food, but you can't see it because maybe it's buried in a chest underground or something. Now you can't see it, but your nose can smell it. So then you just smell it, you know?
You can smell the food.
And then you just dig up the ground and you find a chest.
Wow.
And inside that chest there's like a whole feast of food.
See, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's the same thing like you blind Bartimaeus. Even though he couldn't see, what is it that made him think about, how did he realize that Jesus was coming? What sense did he use? How did he know? If he couldn't see, tell me.
He used one of his 5 senses.
Which was hearing. He could hear, exactly. So he heard that he could hear the crowd, and he heard that Jesus was in town. And that's how he was able to make sure that he received his healing. So guys, what's the most important lesson we've learned here today? Iffy,
If you believe, you will receive.
what will you receive?
Whatever you believe, you're going to receive.
If you believe, you receive whatever you believe you're going to receive. Okay? Jamila, tell us. Tell everybody at home what the important lesson is.
That you shouldn't give up. You should
Good.
always want to achieve it.
Exactly. Don't give up. Bartimaeus didn't give up, and he kept shouting until Jesus came to him and gave him his attention. Good. Okay, tell us give us an important lesson. What have you learned today? Tell everybody at home.
I got a one that this.
Okay, that's fine. Say it again.
I forgot now.
You don't forget. You always remember. We'll come back to you. Haja, tell us.
Believing is the key.
Believing is the key. Okay. Tell us.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's the most important lesson you learned today?
You shouldn't doubt God's word.
You shouldn't doubt God's words. Tell everybody at home.
You shouldn't doubt God's word.
You shouldn't doubt God's word. Exactly, guys. So that's our most important lesson today. Don't give up. Just as Bartimaeus did not give up. And secondly, if you believe, then you shall receive that thing which you really, really want. Because Jesus said, what do you want? And remember, I want you to send me your letters and your emails and your pictures of what if Jesus were to come to you and ask you, what do you want? Write to me and let me know. So guys, that's all we have for today. But I know I'll see you guys very, very soon. But until then, be good. Listen to your mother and father and your parents and whoever looks after you, and do unto others as you want to do unto yourself. And don't forget, if you believe, you shall
Receive.
Okay, guys, see you next time on My Funtime Story.